We are working out for the next 365 days in a row. So many of us struggle to make positive changes in their lives, and I tend to give up too. We can't stick to our goals. You see, we've done this challenge at least 10 times, reaching 200 plus days at least twice. I was hoping to get myself into breakdancing shape because I always wanted to breakdance. And failure was crushing. And sometimes when you fail a lot, you give up. And in my case, you give up on your dreams for good. I made excuses instead. But now, even if I give up, or I sleep in, or I stop, we're just going to start over again. We will become stronger. So what follows are my workouts and thoughts each day. Every day, we can decide to make good choices. So don't give up on yourself.
Hello and welcome to Workout Every Day, day number 23. And on this day, we weighed 199 pounds, allegedly, which is why I took off my socks and then my pants and other clothes that you don't need to know about, and then weighed myself in at 198.2. So we're just going to stick with that number because 199 is crazy, guys. I ain't going to lie to you. I ate more rice. I said I wasn't going to eat a lot of rice, but I ate a bunch of rice yesterday. But it's fine, guys. We have so many days to reach to 175. But really, I think within the next 2 to 3 months, we're going to lock in. Don't worry. We got this in terms of weight loss. But in terms of training, we got ourselves working on the wrist. Now, this is something that I have been a lot more focused on. Instead of just doing once a week, it's twice a week now. Why is it twice a week? Well, it's twice a week because I met some dude while I was playing an arcade video game, and he just happens to be a breakdancer. And I was asking him all these questions, and he was like, man, you can't just work out your wrist once a week. You have to do it as many times as you can. So here's me doing an exercise. And essentially, what this is it's me rotating this dowel in multiple directions and bringing my wrist up. So you'll see here, the further that I bring my hand to the end of the bar, the harder that this movement will become. And I'm doing a rotation, focusing as much as I can on the wrist instead of moving the arm around. Now, I'm not that strong, so I will have to compensate to get it to move around quite a bit. But if I ever feel like I cannot move this bar, all I do is I shift my hand further along the bar. If you notice now, my hand is a lot further up than it was before, and I'm focused on this rotation. Now, this isn't the only movement that I'll do for wrist. Sometimes I'll even use dumbbells. But yeah, I make sure that I get this done on both sides. After this, I have something I like to call the fisherman. Now, I've never been fishing. I might never go fishing, but you know what? Here's my application to being a honorary fisherman. You see this little pole here? I bring it up and then pow. And maybe I hit the ceiling there. Maybe I didn't. Who knows? Why am I looking up? Don't worry about it. The point is, I bring this bar back and forward, right? And essentially, as soon as I bring it forward, I try and rotate that wrist all the way down, okay? And then that's where I get the big benefit of using my wrist to bring it back up. And you can see I'm struggling there. And it's precisely because my hand is a little too close to the end, okay? So with any of these wrist movements I'm showing you, you can always make it easier by moving your hands closer to the center of the bar, whatever kind of bar it is. You can find any kind of bar. If you have really weak wrists, you're probably going to feel this, even if you're thinking, oh, this thing is so light. Well, we'll see about that, right? And this little bar I'm holding, it does weigh a little bit. It might be like 1 to 2 pounds, so you really don't need all that much either if you want to be able to train your wrists like this. Now, this movement, I'm pushing my pinky down and in kind of to my own wrist. It's a strange movement for sure, but I'm telling you, when I was doing my frog poses, when I'm doing things like handstand, like my hands are feeling so much more stable. And now that I'm training my wrist more than once a week, or at least I'm attempting to, that is going to be something I'm more excited to see the progression of over time. Now, leg strength and flexibility. We got ourselves here about to do a reverse Nordic. Now, there's an issue with doing this thing, and for one thing, it's the ankle. Okay, if you have very weak ankles or ankle injuries or anything of the sort, this can be a very uncomfortable position. So I kind of sort out a situation to make it a bit less painful for me, guys. I don't know what it was about the floor, but the floor was feeling extra mean and extra hard, and it just wanted me to be in pain. Something else that you do not want to do in this movement is sit down onto your butt, okay? You do not want to sit down onto your butt. You want to extend those hips, keep the glute squeeze if you have to, push the knees down into the ground, and from there things will be easier. So yeah, don't sit on the heels just like you just saw me do there. Essentially, what you're doing is you're using the quads, you're pushing them down into the floor, and then you're pushing them down to come back up. Now, in the beginning, it did take me some time to get warmed up here because it is such a difficult movement. And there's also another variation of this that you can do without something underneath your ankle. if you really, really struggle with lying flat down on the ankle like that, because, I'm a pretty heavy boy. It does feel a bit uncomfortable. And I'm getting really, really good at getting down into this position, guys. Eventually, I feel like my head is just going to touch my feet. I'm telling you. The other variation is here, guys. If you can see, I pointed my toes down into the floor, so that way it's much easier for me to essentially bend down and get lower. So that is something else that you can do if lying flat on the ankle is far too difficult for you. All right, and now we're back with these these Nordic hamstring curls. And guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, we failed these. All we did was just partial negatives repeatedly. It hurts so much. Even just going that far, I was like, my goodness. And I don't think I had the proper support like I did last time to fall on, and I kept it further away. But as soon as I as soon as I fell forward, guys, I just felt that I couldn't hold on anymore. But I was still getting some benefit from doing these negatives over time. And one particular thing that was really difficult for me is the fact that my bed, it wasn't a very stable surface for me to keep my feet. So I really struggled to gain the leverage I wanted to do the very best that I could. But that's just the way it is. I don't have one of those fancy schmancy hamstring Nordic setups. So I'm just using the bed frame for now. Will it break someday? I don't know. I hope not. In terms of the setup and the reps, it's really just as hard as I'm able to do in the current moment. So, as many reps as I'm able to do. I'm not really focused on counting reps that much, especially when I'm doing movements like these. I'm like, can I survive this? That is literally what goes through my mind most of the time. And yeah, overall a pretty chill day, but I got quite a bit done in terms of my physical health, and I will be at the gym tomorrow. Can't wait to see y'all there. Peace, take care, have a wonderful weekend, yada yada. Goodbye. Is what I would say if I didn't talk about my rows. And yeah, I did towel rows. Not very effective for building the back as much as I would like to, but I did do them, and I really focused on contracting the back as much as I was able to, okay? Even though I wasn't able to max out on anything, I still feel like there's something to gain just by going through the motions of a movement. Now I'll go. Man, I don't know how much I recorded, but yeah, peace is what I would say if I wasn't still training with the. I don't know what. I only planned to train for 30 minutes. But yeah, I ended up training some planche stuff. So I wanted to be slightly in front of the wrist and hold my body. And that was extremely hard. I kept falling over and over and over. But I didn't give up. And I spent a decent amount of time trying to get it. I found that having hands out is a lot easier than having hands forward. Maybe it's just the way that the wrist is loaded. So I started experimenting with that too. Also, I found a pretty fun way to regress this movement. I essentially stuck my head onto the couch if I needed to, just to balance, and that way I was able to try and hold as much as possible. But it is very aggressive on the wrist, hence me, training wrists and stuff like that. Okay, and yeah, that is officially all the things that happened. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.